It's a race to see if you can remember how to get there all the time.
I'm there.
You did it, have you?
Oh, no.
You haven't done it?
I have, but I've done the thing. Oh, God. Why won't I go back?
What?
There we go.
Right. I forgot to check if it was muted or not. So.
Why you do this?
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us for the Liam and Joe show.
It is the Liam and Joe show.
The Liam and Joe 40k show.
Yeah.
Kind of. So if you join us on Tuesdays at 1:30, we do the Liam and Joe AOS show every single Tuesday, where we focus on the new version of Age of Sigmar being released hopefully very soon by James Workshop. And now we're doing the Liam and Joe kind of 40k show because I feel like it kind of makes sense to balance it off that way. But we can tweak each one depending. So new codex weeks we might do like additional streams on things like those previewed codexes, etc. So next week we've got Sisters and GC the Cults. Although on Tuesday we won't be tweaking because we won't be doing any Liam and Joe show because Mr. the Kyrioth's here in the studio for a saga and for the stream in the evening. He's been showing me his all tank list that he's working on for the night, which will be much fun.
All tank?
All tanks, yeah.
For guard?
Yeah, look, he sent me. Kyrioth does great. I'm going to show you now. They can't see it. He does great conversion work. Look at this that he's been making.
That's cool.
It's fucking cool, isn't it?
Are you going to run Sisters against it?
Yeah, all the melter guns all the time.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what I'm going to run against it. So sometimes we change them, but typically what we're going to do on Thursdays is we're going to keep Thursdays for sort of 40k based topics. Now, interestingly, with the pre-orders that do go up on Saturday, which is the new, I think, mission deck, the Sisters Codex, the GC the Cult Codex, we're in a weird position right now because we're previewers. I don't really want to talk about any of the stuff that's been showcased on Warcom.
No.
And I don't want to talk about the stuff that's showcased on Warcom on the off chance we make a cock up and talk about something we're not supposed to. Because as I'm sure you're all aware, as previewers, Joe and I have all of the books and we have the new mission deck. I'm allowed to say that I've got both of the codexes and I've got the mission deck. So I'd like to talk about it, but I don't want to on the off chance we slip up and say something we're not supposed to. So I'm going to avoid talking about it. I know someone's already said Warcom has shown off on Meta Watch there's no chilling rain, and someone's asked me a question about something that was showcased in GC the Cults of the day. I just try and avoid it. It's just the easiest thing. So sometimes at the moment at least, because of the ramping up of AOS 4, all the news that's coming out for AOS 4, it's actually quite difficult to find something fun and interesting to talk about for Warhammer 40k.
Yeah.
But we're going to try. I've got a topic in mind. It's Joe's fault. So first of all, if you haven't already, please make sure you smash all those magical YouTube buttons for us. If we deserve it, hit that like button if you are entertained. Why are you not entertained? If you really enjoy the content and you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Specifically if you're watching on demand, YouTube still shows me that well over 30% of people that watch on demand aren't subscribed. If you can't chat in the chat box right now, it might be because you're not subscribed because we always have subscriber only mode turned on. Or you can, and what you can also do is you can turn on that bell notification icon so YouTube lets you know when we go live. But it's pretty shit actually. In fact, YouTube's really bad at telling you when we go live. So if you don't want to use the bell notification icon to be notified when we go live, what you can do is become a member of the channel, ! Member, or ! Gift, or ! Grift, or ! Member, or all those things. Become a member of the channel, right? If you become a member of the channel, you can get yourself a Discord, ! Discord. There's a theme, right? And when you're in Discord, you can use a reaction role to 40k Squad, and every single time we schedule a stream, go live with a new stream, or we post a new video, it will tell you in Discord with a tag, right? So there you go. You do that.
Yeah.
And thank you so much to Brandon Lagasse, who's already gifted 5 of the finest memberships.
He has. He does that all the time. He's a good egg. Keeps lights on. Yeah. Keeps me full of chicken.
It's amazing.
Well,
so thank you, Brandon, for gifting 5 already. 5 random crazy people. We always have a target of 100. I'm a little bit more laps on that target on the Liam and Joe show. We don't display it anywhere because we also have the evening stream. If we hit 150 in any stream, we give away t-shirts. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Much fun. Big wow.
Yeah, we turn up at your house and with a t-shirt gun, fire it in your face.
Yeah. Dressed as a Desolation Marine. Yeah. But significantly more effective.
Yeah.
So today, what I thought I'd talk, I can't remember how you bought or why you bought this up. I remember what you said to me because I said.
I said, are all battle lines made equal?
So we know with the introduction of the new mission deck from an article on Warcom, without us diving into too much detail here, because again I don't want to say things that haven't been shared in public domain yet, that there's going to be a new focus on battle line units doing things and being more impactful and important on the battlefield, right? So that got me thinking. So Joe has talked about this a few times where he says, well, the thing is, for example, Tyranid battle line crumbles significantly faster than Space Marine battle line, and so on and so forth. And so he came up with the all battle lines made equal. And I think that's a very easy answer, and the answer is no.
No.
So what I wanted to talk about, what my brain then my cog got turned, I was like, oh, I've got an idea actually.
Yeah.
This is something I've seen in the live chat loads throughout 10th edition.
Yeah.
And that is, 10th edition is the first time in Warhammer 40k at least, we saw the removal of the force organisation charts.
Yeah, it made me sad.
So if you guys remember, force organisation charts have come in many different forms over the course of the last 3 editions and further afield. So back in 7th edition and beyond, we typically had the combined arms detachment. The combined arms detachment is actually the thing that's showcased in the thumbnail. It requires you to have a minimum of a single HQ choice and 2 troops choices. And some of you are going, what the fuck are you talking about, HQ and troops choices? Everything had a tag to it. Everything was giving a battlefield role, whether that be elite, fast attack, heavy support, Lord of War, troops, or HQ.
Yeah.
And dedicated transports came in their own, and flyer, obviously, right? And you had to have a minimum of 1 HQ and 2 troops. If you want to expand your combined arms detachment, you could add another 1 HQ, another 4 troops, 3 fast attack, 3 elites originally, and 3 heavy supports.
Yeah.
That was how that existed in 7th edition, and then you could, eventually, towards the end of 7th edition, you could take detachments, or formations as they were called back then, and that allowed you to kind of circumvent some of those restrictions and build things into formations and get extra stuff, right?
Yes.
Cool. There was no rule of 3, because you didn't need it when you only had 3 heavy support, 3 fast attack, 3 elites choices.
Yeah.
7th edition then went away and 8th edition was launched.
Yeah.
And what they did is they gave you many more force organisation charts. They gave you the Vanguard, the Spearhead, the
Outrider,
Supreme Commander, the Outrider, blah, 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 right? The Battalion, and then the Brigade, I think it was. Yeah. And what they did at that point was they brought in their command point system and they awarded you command points for fitting your stuff into detachments. So if you took a battalion, you gained 5 command points. A Spearhead gave you 1. A Vanguard gave you 1. A Brigade gave you 12, I think. I can't remember. So the more that you fitted into these specific formations, these specific unit-based formations, meant you gained command points, and command points were obviously useful resources as we know right now. So an Outrider required you to have a single HQ and 3 fast attacks.
Yeah.
A Vanguard required you to have a single HQ and 3 elites. A battalion requires you to have 3 troops and 2 HQs. A brigade was even blah, 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 right? And it got big and you got more CP. 8th edition went away, 9th edition came in. 9th edition came in with basically the same detachments. There were some changes. I think we lost Supreme Commander as it was in the past, where it was like 3 HQs and a Lord of War or something. That went away. And instead of giving you CP, it took CP away from a pool. You spent CP to use detachments.
Yeah.
I think it was that way around. I'm sure it was that way around. And so if you used an Outrider, you took a number of CP away. If you used a battalion, it took no CP away, etc., etc. So again, it was a way of managing resource and encouraging you to build your formations or build your factions in a certain way that I think typically made them look quite thematic on the tabletop.
Yeah.
With the introduction in 8th and 9th edition of these new formations, what you could do if you really wanted to is you could run 3 Outrider detachments, which meant you needed 3 HQs and 9 fast attack. That became a problem because people kept spamming the same unit.
Yes.
So the rule of 3 kind of existed in 7th, but never actually verbally existed.
Yeah.
But that went away, and then people were like, well, I could take 4 Storm Ravens.
Yeah.
I can, because I'm allowed to. So they then had to bring in this quick fix, I think we will probably call it, despite the fact that it's now over 6 years old. They had to bring in this quick fix, which was you can't take any more than 3 of the same data sheet.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be familiar because that still exists today in 10th edition.
Yeah.
Towards the end of 9th edition, they made a sweeping change, which was basically bring what the fuck you want.
Yes.
Essentially.
With
the rule of 3 still in place.
Yeah, there was no detachments. It was just a case of you have to take a warlord and that's it.
Yeah. And so now we're in 10th edition, and again, it is a case of bring what the fuck you want with no restrictions, apart from you need a single character unit to be a warlord.
Yeah.
Which essentially at the moment at least means nothing. Warlords actually mean nothing.
No. So there are a few stratagems that are, or character abilities where it says if this character is your warlord, you get X.
Yes.
Right? But if you've got multiple characters in your army that have that, one's your warlord, and then you kind of miss out.
Yeah.
So it's a bit annoying. Or you end up in a situation where you bring a name character who really should be your warlord, but then someone else gets it because their ability is just a bit better.
Yeah. So 10th edition came out where warlords meant what Joe talked about, otherwise not really much, and otherwise take what the fuck you want. But guess what? We're going to keep this lazy rule of 3 fix in place to stop you from taking 20 units of something that's broken right now.
Yeah, I think it was like a double-edged sword because a lot of people liked it, and a lot of people didn't because of like Force Hog. But then the other issue is if the minimum requirements is 1 HQ and 2 troops, some armies had really cheap troops, which were like 50 points for 2 units, like 50 points for a 10-man unit, and some were like, well, my troops are like 150.
Yeah. So the reason why I don't like the rule of 3 as well at the moment in 10th edition, a slight aside, is because Games Workshop have now categorically changed the way that unit sizes work. So it used to be that you could take 3 D-cannons in a unit or 3 war walkers in a unit.
Yeah.
Now you can only take 1 in a unit and you have a maximum of 3. So the 6 or 7 that I have on the shelf behind me mean that we have too many war walkers now.
Yeah,
And I feel like I'm in a place where at least most of them were unbuilt, so I could resell them. But a lot of people had units of 3 3 units of 3 war walkers or units of 3 sentinels.
The guard predicament when Basilisks used to be in a squadron of 3.
Yes, and I feel like that's a really
huge.
bad. Like it feels bad. We're going to keep the rule of 3 in place, and we're going to reduce. Anyway, that's an aside. So that's kind of a quick, brief journey through time from the start, towards the end, I guess, of 7th edition through to where we are now. And a lot of people have come in chat and said that part of 40k's problem right now is the lack of force organisation charts.
Yeah.
And so it kind of creates this gaming space whereby we're often seeing what I like to refer to as rock, paper, scissors based gaming.
Yeah.
So I've bought list A, Joe's got hard counter list B, but Joe's list falls down to hard counter list C that Eddie's bought, but his is that positive or negative? Now, when we had force organisation charts, did we see more balanced games? Did we see more units that were not normally taken, but because they had to be because of force org charts? That's the kind of conversation I want to have today. I don't actually know if I miss a force org chart, but I think it's more nostalgia than game balance based.
Yeah, I think the fix could be about how bringing a certain HQ option makes something else battle line. I think that would be nice.
That'd be cool. I'd be into that. 100%.
So like Raven Guard, their detachment allows outriders to be battle line, doesn't it? And then Harlequins, if you take a
Troop Master.
That's the one. The Troop Master.
I got you.
He makes Harlequin troops battle line.
That light's not on. I wondered why you're a bit shadowy.
I like it.
I'll fix it.
Makes it slimming.
Keep talking. It's slimming, yeah.
It's slimming.
Keep talking, Joe.
Yeah, so I think what I'd like to see is something like that. So like with Space Marines, if your captain has a jump pack, then Assault Marines
Are you ready,
get a
chat?
battle line.
Oh, there you go.
See, it's much worse for me now. I can see my forehead, you know. Although if I do that, it means I do look thinner, but that's probably the black t-shirt.
Well, I don't know, Joe. I think you look thinner.
No.
It might be the haircut.
So yeah, I think, or I really like what AOS 3 did. What Dave is saying, a quick fix could be 1 HQ 2 battle line requirement, which is what they had in AOS 3.
But that is combined arms from kind of.
Yeah, combined arm detachment.
But what would you do, Dave? Would you go 1 HQ 2 battle line and still then 10th edition take what the fuck you want? Or would you? Because I personally don't like the rule of 3 as a fix. I'm not a fan of it, but people have said like, oh yeah, but stop spamming. Spamming is a problem and it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
it's only a problem if the units you're spamming are overly powerful. But as we see from Games Workshop, you normally get a quick fix within 3 months.
Yeah, but also so I find it weird that there's things like battle line units have a restriction of 6 on them.
Yeah.
Like your core infantry troops, an Astra Militarum tabletop force, I feel like shouldn't have a restriction on battle line units. Granted, they have Cadians and Catachans and Kriegers, etc. But personally, I would want to just have one type of looking troop in the force. I wouldn't want to remember, they're actually Kriegers and they're Cadians.
Well, if you think about it, right, if you look at World Eaters, for example, you go, we've got 60 Berserkers, no one on the bus. No one else, we're full. You know, can't take any more.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, like rubric marines. Despite the fact that they have loads and loads of different weapon loadout options, only 60. Then we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kat says, genuinely think Battleline is the best catch-all. I think I'm really interested to see what you guys think. I'm careful here, Jay. I'm really interested to see what you guys think when the mission deck is released to the public.
Yes.
Because Battleline could be a catch-all. We have to be so careful now.
Yeah. I like it, but my issue is that from the change from 9th to 10th, some units that were battle line that got taken away as battle line kind of need to make their way back again.
Yeah.
So if you think
Warriors.
Yeah, so warriors need to go back for Tyranids. I think Dire Avengers need to go back to being a troops choice.
Yeah.
For Eldar, because they've got Guardians and Storm Guardians, and
But again, back in 7th edition, Wind Riders were a troops choice.
yeah, because
Now, I'm not saying they should be a troops choice again, obviously.
I
but-
don't have an issue with them being a troops choice, because at the end of the day, also Guardians and Wind Riders need to go back to being Blizzard Skill 4,
But
because they're like the Potters. You know, it's like, you know, like in 300 when they meet up with the Athenians. And he's like, "What's your job?" "I'm a Potter."
But
you know?
but I think Wind Riders going to troops or battle line would be similar to what you talked about before.
Yeah.
If you take an Autarch on Jetbike as your
Yeah.
warlord, or a Farseer on Jetbike as your warlord, you can then take
Yeah.
Wind Riders as battle line. I think that kind of works.
It says Dire Avengers are troops. They're not troops. They're infantry.
They're
but
infantry.
They're not battle
They're
line.
not battle line. They're elites.
And it's
Well, they're
like,
not even elites, are they? Just not battle line.
You know, like Tau, we've got Fire Warriors and Breaches, which kind of makes sense. But our Kroot, is the Carnivore squad made its way back to being troops?
I think only in the Kroot detachment.
Only in the Kroot detachment, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, but then it's like, maybe that's another way of fixing it. In certain detachments, things become battle line. So if like the Iron Warriors detachment, it would have been nice to see Havocs become battle line. Only 5-man units. Can't get any bigger. Yeah, they pack some big guns, but they're all guns that have a line of sight. So if they can see you, you can see them. You know, just stuff like that. We're like little interactions. We've got the guard book coming out.
Personally, I'm really all about options that allow people to take a complete variance on an army. So you can have 5 people playing the same faction and all their lists look very, very different.
Well, if you- right.
But you also, but the thing is, that's not just based on can I take Kroot Carnivores as battle line? Because everyone now can take Kroot Carnivores as battle line. It requires you to run the Kroot detachment. And how many people who play Tower are actually doing that now? None, because it's a bit shit.
But
Right.
Fictionally, we haven't seen this book, so we can't get in trouble if we say anything. But I reckon show fact, right? Guard Codex comes out.
Okay,
Right?
we haven't seen that. I was worried you were going to go Sisters or GC to Cult Energy.
No.
I was like, no.
Guard Codex is in the future.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to see a Scion detachment,
Yes.
right? And that makes Scions battle line,
Yeah, agree.
right? And what I'd love to see is that detachment also break army building rules. If you're like a Scion detachment, you can take. There's no limit on how many Valkyries you can bring. Right? Because, let's be honest, Valkyries aren't setting the world on fire at the moment, are they?
Flyers in general, to be fair.
Fires are pretty shit.
Yeah.
But what is a quintessential unit for Scions to have access to?
Valkyries.
Valkyries. So you're like, I don't want to have just 2. Also, Scions could deep strike, so it completely defies the point of the Valkyrie in the first place.
Yeah.
So maybe they went Kassakin detachment. Kassakin can take like 3 Valkyries instead. You know? Bring back the Vendetta.
I don't even like 3. I don't like restrictions on things.
Yeah, but like just allow you to have, just be like, there is no restriction on how many they can have access to, you know?
I feel like there's a way of doing this. I'm going to spitball now. Bear with me, but I think there's a way of doing this that's just flat better. So I do 100% prefer the way that CP works in 10th edition compared to the way CP worked previously. Because the way CP worked previously, you were able to spunk all your CP in turn 1, do some mega move that your opponent couldn't stop, and then table off their army. So I actually much prefer it. AOS does it as well. I much prefer it as a trickled resource throughout the course of the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely think that's the right call. But what I liked in the past was, well, if you want to take these extra detachments, which allow you to kind of circumvent the old Force org chart, you're going to have less CP resource.
Yeah.
Now, they can't do that and trickle it at the same time. I can't get both of those in. So maybe they do something that's like, you know what? A unit is, and I'm going to get technical here, this is not the way to do it, but concept is perhaps something we can implement. You could take 3 Valkyries or 3 units of Banshees or 3, I don't know, what's one of your favourite units that you loved, a Blade Guard or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you could take 4, but if you take the 4th one, the points cost an additional 20%, right? Now, I wouldn't want to ask people to work out 20% every time, so there'd be a more easy way of doing it, I guess.
Well, Tau used to have a system where you were pointed on 1, 2, or 3 guns. So every time you took an extra one, it got more expensive.
Yeah, right. AOS used to do it.
Yeah.
So if you reinforced a unit, they used to have like, here's the points. So if you've got 10, it's like 100 points. If you take 20, it's like 200 points. If you take 30, it becomes 340 points.
Yeah.
Right? They used to do it. They used to tier it based on the unit size.
Or in 8th edition, which was a really good idea, and they got rid of it for this edition, which I think mad, by the way. Right, I don't know why they got rid of it. So they've reduced the unit sizes now to mostly for 10 from 20s, but some units can still go 20. The rule was you used to get 2 CP costs on a stratagem, because if you were on a unit,
on a bigger unit,
it's more efficient, so it costs more. So like orcs were like, if it's 1 CP for 10, anything more than 10, it's 2 CP or 3 CP. But now they're like, well, it gets cheaper the more models you have, even though it makes them more efficient.
Yeah.
Also, have you seen what Tank the Unknowing has said?
No. Following from last night's stream, you are a bad influencer, as I've just bought tickets and booked a hotel for my first 40k tournament in 8 years at the end of August. Yeah! You mean for the Great Hall event?
The Great Hall Takeover?
The Great Hall event that we're running in Sheffield on the 31st of August, 1st of September.
Yeah.
If you want to know about the Great Hall event happening in Sheffield, go to hellstormwargaming.com.
When we spoke to him, he'd sold 50 tickets? 40 tickets? Now I think there's like 25 left.
Yeah.
From a 120-man event.
I'm hoping that's all
I hope
Great Hall
that's
people.
all of you guys.
Yeah.
And would you turn up and take over?
There's a few people that have talked about the shirt today as well, Joe. Have you seen the attire?
Yeah.
This is last season, not this season's Bath rugby shirt.
Yeah.
And someone said, are you from there? I'm not from there. We are about an hour and 40 from Bath, an hour and a half from Bath,
Yeah.
roughly speaking.
Yeah.
You go to the bathroom already?
I was putting my cup down, but now you say it.
So we're about an hour and a half from Bath, but they are the team that I support in the Premiership for rugby. And this is last season's get-up, because this season's get-up is in the wardrobe ready for Saturday, because I'm going to Twickenham on Saturday, Joe. Have you muted yourself?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if you have.
I have. I put the mute thing on here.
Yeah. So I am off to Twickenham on Saturday to watch Bath, and I'll be wearing the new shirt, so I'm just showing my support as we go and play Northampton. Is Mr. The Waller in chat? Because if he's in chat, then I don't know if you're going or not, Martin. I know you're supposed to be at work. Hey, Liam, did you get my messages on Discord? I haven't seen messages on Discord for a while, Talk. I normally go through all my messages on Discord on a Monday morning. I get fucking a lot, unfortunately. Hope you do well there, dude. Just forego your first CP turn 1 in order to break Force Org at the list building stage in set ways. There's definitely ways we can do it, I think. So I would like to lift the restriction as it currently exists and come up with something that allows more varied list building, but there is a negative to it. So like if you think about AOS and the way they've done their new regiment system in AOS 4, then... Yeah, he is muted. Good. I'm just checking on my little deck there. If you think about what they've done with the regiments in AOS 4, the way they do auxiliaries, there is a punishment to taking auxiliaries, and I kind of like that, right? Joe Weing is quality content, always, right? Anyway, right. I need to say a big thank you, Crumpets Panda, for the 5 gifted memberships. You're a hero. That puts us up, chat, to 10 gifted memberships. Not very many. Just throwing that out there. But thank you so much for the 10 anyway. There's some super chats to get through. I might as well jump in whilst Joe's not here. Restrictions in list. So thank you, Beardhammer Wargaming. Beardhammer Wargaming is a great name, by the way. Thank you for the €5. Restrictions in list building are always a good thing, even when it doesn't feel like it. I got a shitstorm a few weeks ago as I talked about this. Did you? What a great name, by the way. Beardhammer Wargaming.
I like it.
Yeah. He says, Joe.
Has he got a hammer made entirely out of beard?
Well, that would be impressive.
That'd be cool.
He said
it?
restrictions in list building are always a good thing, even when it doesn't feel like it. I got a shitstorm a few weeks ago as I talked about this.
I think it's right. I've always said
That's the first one. We can heart that top one now.
Yeah, I've always said that I'd like to see a change with the detachment based on Horus Heresy.
Okay.
So what you take in that detachment, there are limitations. So if you're a White Scars player, like I said, you have to have all your infantry in transports, and it's a bike detachment, right?
Okay.
If you take an Iron Warriors detachment, you can't take Raptors.
Yeah.
You know, but you could take 4 Defilers or 4 units of Havocs, kind of thing.
Defiler.
Hardly know her. You know, if you're running Beltan, you have to have 3 Phoenix Lords on the table.
Maximus. You know? I really miss Allies.
Allies was good, but it's real difficult to.
Allies was crazy because of the way they did the Ally system.
Yeah.
But I really missed Allies.
It's balanced.
I abused Allies.
Someone was saying, I was worried that Grumpage was saying that he can see we on my trousers, but I don't think there was any.
There might be.
Yeah. We did say Brandon Leguez for the.
I've done all the gifteds. We're only on 10.
Then. So thank Grant Ballantyne. I used to say your name to Jill Valentine because that's all I think about every time I read your name. Says feels like a catch-22. The freedom of 10th is nice, but the old 9th was more organised. Yes. Yeah, it's just a bit. The problem is that's why we end up with this really kind of weird balancing situation that Games Workshop found themselves in, really, isn't it? When you look at like MetaWatch, if you give people too much choice, like it means that like the inmates are in charge of the asylum, basically.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And it means that
the problem is, I think the majority of wargamers don't actually typically abuse any of the systems.
No.
It's the hyper competitive, and then there's the added question, which is like, is it actually a problem then? If it's because I think we often, and we fall into this trap, Joe, quite a lot actually, where we go, this is a problem, this is a problem, this is a problem. Is it a problem at anything other than high-level tournaments or high-level competitive? Actually, normally probably not. I don't find there's many people that take the big broken shit and go to their local gaming store and ruffle stomp everyone they come across.
I think there are people...
It happens, but it's quite rare.
Yeah, like you'll find that there's like one.
Yeah.
So when I leave here in the evenings, I phone my mate Dan.
Don't lie.
Because he's normally awake.
You don't have any mates.
I'm
your mate.
And we talk to each other on the drive home. I talk about the game. I talk about the experience. And we just talk about your general old chat. And on Tuesdays, he's normally come from his club as well.
Yeah. So he's been playing.
So he's been playing as well. So we talk about our games and stuff. And he's got a really good club he goes to. They're all quite fun. There's a lot of people that are there into modelling and painting. But there's one or two people that like people try to tend to avoid because they just turn up just to fucking destroy people. And everyone's like, oof. You've come with a bit of a spicy list. It's like, this is our Tuesday night fun time.
Tell me in chat, honestly, do people find that you come across those people more often than not, or less often?
Or you will find where if you've got a club that runs very regular events, then the club nights will slowly tend towards competitive style because everyone just seems to be practicing for the next event.
Yeah.
And that's like a weird thing that you can fall into.
Yeah, I think that happens. I used to find with me and a mate of mine, specifically Lee, very close friend of mine, we used to end up in ourselves in a little arms race.
Yeah.
So he'd be having problems with a unit. So let's say, for sake of argument, he was having problems with my Wraith Guard.
Yeah.
My Wraith Guard were causing him problems. So what he would do is he'd build a unit in his Tau army to tackle Wraith Guard.
Yeah.
And then that unit in his Tau army would be causing me problems. So let's say he'd built Crisis Suits to tackle my Wraith Guard. I'd be like, that's a problem. It's causing me issues now.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people can relate to this. So I'd then build a unit that I want to put my army to deal with his Crisis Suits.
That's really fun, but over a long period of time, it becomes really weird. I think if there's just two of you playing, you almost want to have 2 or 3 armies each, so you can change it up a bit.
Yeah. And then so when it gets to a point where he's completely tailored to beat Eldar, and then drop Blood Angels on the table.
Yeah. Like my friend Dash comes over, and he's been practicing for a lot of events. So we normally play. It's only like once a month, once every couple of weeks. So we'll have 2 or 3 games. So I'll take 2 armies with me, and be like, so instead of me playing one army all the time, and he just becomes really used to playing that one army, I'll be like, I'm going to bring 3 armies then, and I'll bring 3 armies next time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that just means it just keeps things fresh. Stops that, because you can become too used to playing against one army all the time.
Oh, I found that 100%. But I also found we went to a tournament once, right? And I also found that I'd optimised my Eldar list so much because we were in this arms race, constant arms race, that we went to a tournament and I came 4th or 3rd. And I think it was one of the first ever real proper tournaments I went to. It was back in 7th edition. And because we'd been so engrossed in this arms race, which we obviously thought were completely harmless, and me and my mate were just playing each other, because you kind of grow and learn with each other. Yeah. You kind of stick at the same level. I know it's not always true, Brom. But normally, I mean, he's smashing you lately, but normally, normally that's what happens. So I went to the tournament super fucking dialed in without knowing I was super dialed in, and came 4th at the event, which was incredible, and he came 5th. Yeah. We played each other in the last game.
Yeah, I think now I've got to a stage where I take it he won if you came 4th.
I came 4th, he came 5th. Oh.
The weird thing about Brom is I now starting to think that when I play against him, I have to tailor my army against him, just so I can stand a chance versus Orcs.
Where's my buttons gone? There we go. My buttons are back. Okay, my buttons broke for a minute. Yeah. Sorry.
But at the same time, I don't want to tailor my army to my opponent when we play.
I actually think that tailoring has this real negative connotation.
Yeah.
But isn't actually always negative. So hands up, chat. We do a lot of tailoring on the channel, and we don't always get it right. And when I say we do a lot of tailoring, we look at the lists people are bringing, and Joe and I typically are involved in almost every single stream. So people like Paddy and Eddie and Brom have, on the whole, relatively limited list possibilities or unit possibilities, and we have lots of options because we've got the studio armies. So when we find out what they're taking, we try and tailor it, and we take the piss out of each other all the time for tailoring. And the truth of the matter is we do tailor, but we try and do it in such a way that means the game is going to stay relatively balanced throughout, so it's more entertaining for you people. That's genuinely true. I actually think that if you're playing amongst friends, doing a similar thing for tailoring isn't actually necessarily a bad thing. Because if you know, so I bought this army, and you're like, well, if I run my normal army, I'm just going to steamroller you in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's not fun between friends. So maybe I'm going to tailor my list actually to wind it back a little bit. When we talk about tailoring, we often assume that the tailoring is done to advantage rather than to disadvantage. Yeah. And sometimes it's done to advantage, because sometimes we do it and we go, well, if I take what I want to take, you're literally going to fucking walk over me.
I really wanted to bring a Baneblade on Tuesday. I haven't bought the Baneblade in ages. Yeah. And I had the Shadow Sword and the Stormhammer out, which I need to paint at some point. I said, I'm really going to bring the Baneblade. But then I was like, if I bring the Baneblade, that's just going to cause some real shit problems for Brom.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know if it would with orcs nowadays. Yeah. I'm not sure it would cause massive problems, but maybe.
I think it's more of a case of that you can just sit behind it and just make it, just put out a ridiculous amount of firepower.
Yeah.
But maybe next time I do play him, I will bring the Baneblade.
Maybe.
I will hold no bars.
We deserve it. Chat, we're 2 likes away from 100. Maybe if you're thinking about it, one of the 277 people right now can smash that like button for us. That'd be amazing. We only have 10 gifted memberships right now, Joe. That's a low number. There are some grey names in chat. Exclamation mark. If you're a grey name, type all one word, exclamation mark, snipe me, all lowercase. That's telling everyone else that you want to be a member, but you're too fucking cheap to buy your own one. And then some gifters might throw some at you, and then you might get hit in the face with loads of massive members. And then one might stick, and you might become a member of the Great Hall. And if you're a member of the Great Hall, that makes you better than everyone else.
Yeah, the only time you want a sticky member.
Yeah, it makes you better than everyone else. In the meantime, we're going to jump into some super chats, because some have come through.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some of these. And you'll feel free to stick all of your opinions about this on colourful postcards, send them in. Joe will badly read them. I'll then work out what was actually meant to say, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah. Over to you.
Thank you, Crumpets Panda. Says, what does a Night Force chart looks like? What about Primarchs? do they just become HQs? Rule of 3 seems like a relic of super slow releases. Well, you got it right. In what they tended to do with knights is that knights had their own super heavy detachment.
They did, yeah.
And
That
also
worked.
that worked really, really well.
Yeah.
And then there was a Supreme Command detachment, which was one Supreme Commander, 0 to 3 HQ choices, and 0 to 1 super heavy detachment.
That was in 8th.
That was
In
8th. That was brilliant.
In 9th, the Supreme Commander detachment was just a Supreme Commander.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, so what I meant is that you are limited to one Supreme Commander model. So you couldn't have Gilliman the Lion now. But at the time, there was only Gilliman.
Yeah.
There was a weird thing that they said that never happened, was that like, oh, Supreme Commanders are, if you think of a character in your army that should realistically be the Supreme Commander, they will become the Supreme Commander. So everyone got really hyped for like releases. Because they're like Dark Eldar players, like, oh, we're getting Vex! And then we never got him.
Yeah.
But it worked really, really well for Primarchs. Because then, for instance, nowadays, Angron would sidestep out of the Force Org into his own Supreme Command detachment. And then if you were limited to 1 to 3 HQs, he didn't take up one of them.
Which was good.
Yeah. It was a really solid thing. And I'm sad it went.
Yeah, I actually prefer having detachments that you had to build into. I actually, at the moment, we'll have to see how it plays out because I'm inexperienced with AOS, but I like the AOS theory. I like the 3 regiments. The one with your warlord in it gets a bonus, and you can take auxiliaries, and I'm a big fan of that at the moment.
One thing they did in 9th edition, which I really, really liked, which was a fix to a problem they had in 8th, where some armies started to get a release of a lot of characters in the elite slot. So like Space Marines, for instance, had like Standard Bearer, Apothecary, stuff like that. So people got really upset. They're like, oh, I've got to bring, like my 4 choices for my battalion for elites have all been taken up by characters. I can't take Terminators anymore. So then they tweaked it a bit, which allowed you to take 3 elite characters.
Yeah.
And then
CMB says, I don't think it's a good idea to trust players to police themselves when it comes to this building. It absolutely is not a good idea. I completely agree with you.
That's when you end up with people like Manny.
Yeah. Or Joe.
I'm actually really good and I bring fun armies and people just are like, cool, I'm going to destroy you now. We're not here to have fun anymore, Brom. He just can't hold it back, can he?
He doesn't have that power, Joe.
Yeah. I'd like to see him in the bedroom.
30
Or
seconds
not.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Mind you, his wife often looks unsatisfied. Carry on.
Tank the Unknowing, obviously super chatted. This is his first ever super chat.
Oh, what a legend.
Yeah. Says, I don't mind the Force organisation charts as long as there is an option to build a narrative list like all Deathwing or all Ravenwing army, which they did. When they released the Dark Angels Codex, they go, cool, if you take the Outrider detachment or if you take the Deathwing detachment...
And your Warlord is in that detachment.
And your Warlord is in the detachment, that detachment... at the time had 0 CP cost.
Yeah, CP cost is 0, yeah.
Yeah, because a battalion at the time was 0 CP.
Yeah.
But a Outrider or the other one was 3 command points.
Yeah.
So they were like, it has 0 command cost because that's your army. And then it was like, patrols had 1 command point cost. And if you would play Drakari, you could take 3 patrols and it would cost you nothing. Because that's how the army is built, because it's lots of little groups of individual kind of thing.
They did it really well, and narratively.
It was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fucking brilliant it was.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I really don't like the 10th edition free-for-all.
Yeah, so like nowadays you can just bring all Terminators or all bikes or whatever, but I don't know, some people like restrictions, some people like it open-ended, and it's odd, it's weird.
We even went so custom as we literally had like custom chapter tactics and custom craft world attributes, and you could literally build your own chapter rules.
Yeah, although all the Eldar players went
the same thing.
Children of Mora Hague, wasn't it? Which gave you +1 attack on the charge, and then there was another one which gave you better shuriken catapults and stuff.
Don't talk about
the Eldar. Games Workshop doesn't know how to write bad Eldar rules. That's the problem.
Don't talk about. Just good players.
It's like all those hackers on Call of Duty that just have better chairs.
Yeah.
You know. Thank you, Benjamin Dustin. I just watched Dead.
Use your eyes.
Watched Head Meta Watch in. You've been drinking, mate. I've just watched. I'm gonna change the words in this sentence to make it right in my head.
Okay.
But I've just watched Meta Watch. They talked about the new deck. How are they making everything so boring despite anticipation? Basically, I think what he's trying to say is, why is MetaWatch shit?
They do a good job on the whole with their releases, any of their releases, about making them really dull.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I want to apologise to a certain human being.
No, don't go fucking crawling back now because he waved at you.
I saw Adam Troke at UK Games Expo, and I waved at him, and he gave me a wave back. But I was like, he didn't look very happy.
Joe, hang on. Let's get this right. He waved at you first.
He did.
Let's be clear about this.
But I
it's
waved
an important moment in Joe's life.
I was very excited.
Joe was recognised and waved at by Adam Troke, and then waved back at him.
I really like Adam Troke.
He does now. He waved at him, yeah.
Yeah. Now I have to be open and honest about it. Yes.
It's not what you said about him on the drive up there.
I didn't talk about him at all.
Exactly.
It was his person next to him called Eddie. He was the nightmare. Something about that name, right? No, I saw it. I just because I gave him a bad rep, but I feel like anyone that works for Warhammer TV is kind of working with their hands and mouth.
Oh, 100% they are. Absolutely.
Everything's tied behind their backs. They can't emote, you know. And I've complained in the past about how Adam was like, they'd be doing a preview and he seemed a bit like, ugh. But it's like, I guess they can't get too excited about things because they know things have already come out or things are coming out or they've just experienced it too much. And the poor lads now who have taken over from MetaWatch, and there's the new guy from Warhammer TV, I thought they're already suffering from the Warhammer TV straps, you know? They're like, don't say this, don't say that, talk about this, make sure you get this in, but you do not mention this. And I guess they have to sit there and do that weird mental arithmetic in their heads about, like, what can I say?
Well,
how can I say things without, like, and then I guess the emotion just drains out of them because they're too scared to say anything.
But we do that as well. We're doing it now. I'm refusing to talk about Jesus of the Occult Sisters Codex or the new mission deck because I don't want to say something that I'm not allowed to say. The difference for them is they have to talk about it because that's literally their job.
They're asking who is Adam Troke.
Adam Troke.
Not Troke. He used to be on Warcom. He was the exciting one out of the two.
Does he not still do Warhammer TV?
I've not seen him on there for a while. They've got a new guy. The guy who did the learn how to play Spearhead or whatever he hit.
Oh, he got bored of that in seconds and turned that off.
He's the new guy.
Yeah.
And
it's like a small boy.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I feel like when they pick some of their Warhammer TV presenters, they don't have a particularly big pot to choose from.
I miss Becca Scott.
I'm sure you do.
She was
like a small boy.
Prime 40k content creation for them. She hit all the spots.
Ben's clarified, by the way. I use the YouTube app on my phone. It's broken. Poor old Ginger Steve. I don't know if poor old Ginger Steve's still watching. He commented when the stream was first posted. He refuses to super chat nowadays. Was one of our biggest super chatters ever. Yeah. And he refuses to super chat nowadays because of the autocorrect on his iPhone when he's using the YouTube app. Which, by the way, is horrific.
Doesn't the iPhone also take a much larger cut as well?
I don't think it takes a much larger cut. It costs a bit more, but
it costs more to super chat, though, doesn't it?
It costs more to do everything on iPhone.
Why would you have an iPhone? I don't get it.
Because they're the best.
No.
Yes.
No. If it's anything like this,
which I love,
no.
Where's
the big button in the middle?
You don't need a big button because I'm not a ham-fisted prick. So that's why I don't have a big button.
Where's the open all my pages? It's just...
You don't need an I'll show you.
No. No, don't touch it. I've got it where I need it. If you touch things, I won't find my way back.
You have iPhones, iPads, and Macs for sophisticated people, and then Samsungs for fucking troglodytes. Carry on.
Have you seen these things that come up on social media? Like the girl saying, if I don't see the tick next to the name, like it's over, it's not happening.
No.
So there's people now in the dating world which are prejudiced against Android users.
I'm gonna be honest as well. I actually literally don't give a fuck about Apple versus Samsung, or I don't care. I literally couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I am an Apple whore. I have an iWatch, an iPhone, an iPad, a Mac. I love Apple stuff. I refuse to gift memberships or super chat using an Apple device because I don't like the fact that Apple go. So it's $4.99 for a single gifted membership on Liam's channel. Yeah, cool. We're going to charge $5.99. YouTube won't see any more. Liam won't see any more. We're taking that £1. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Don't super chat. Go to the PO box, get a big wedge of cash in an envelope, post it, cost of a stamp. You know?
Yeah, I just want to be clear. Like, I do not get the iPhone versus Android argument or the Xbox versus PlayStation argument. I'm like, when people go, fucking PlayStation is superior to Xbox or Android is superior to, I'm like, fucking grow up. People have their own opinions. Let them pick what they want to use. Like, I don't care. Like, I had Samsungs in the past. I personally hated them. I don't necessarily think they're a bad product. I just didn't like it.
Also,
as simple as that.
Before we go to the next one, I have to say, and we did talk about this in the car afterwards, that Adam Troke is a style icon. Right?
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that
because
point.
Every time I've seen him at Warhammer World, at events, on Warhammer TV, in his living room, you know, in his bathroom, when he's asleep, you know, when I've seen him, he always wears the exact same clothes. Some kind of plaid shirt, a cool rock t-shirt, jorts. Right? He's found his niche. He's in it. He looks good doing it. I wish I was like that. I kind of feel like I am there now, though. Comedy t-shirt, grey jeans.
Yeah, despite all the channel t-shirts I've bought you.
Or one of them.
You have 2 polo shirts. You have a Lictor t-shirt.
They're a scratchy material.
They're not scratchy material.
So scratchy.
They're not scratchy.
Yeah.
There's a reason why all the other lads wear them and love them. You're the problem, not the t-shirt.
I am the problem. It's me. Yes. I've got like a touchy thing. I've recently realised I don't like wearing things around my wrists. It makes me. It triggers the tism in me, and I'm like, oh no, I can't have stuff on my wrist. I tried to have a bracelet for a while, and I really tried it, but like even if it like touches my skin for too long, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. I like having things on rings and wrists.
So when I absolutely hate being invited to weddings, right? Because I hate wearing a suit. It's something that I have to have the sleeves rolled up.
That's lice, Joe.
Yes. Yeah. Just I can't do it.
Should we keep going through these?
Too restrictive.
Well, the gift is like exploded and stopped again.
Yeah, let's talk about my strange body habits.
Yes.
So I've just done Benjamin Dustin. That was cool. Thank you, Kazarian. AOS list building for the win. Don't boo me. You know I'm right. Well, we're not going to boo you, Kaz, because you're right.
Yeah, I've literally said that.
Yeah. My nips are sensitive.
Although I don't, but what I want to clarify this as well, because I feel like this is something that we could fall down a rabbit hole of. I do not want 40k to be a sci-fi skinned AOS. I don't want that. So when when I say new AOS list building is superior to current 10th edition list building, I agree, but I don't want them to go, let's just copy AOS. I don't want that. I don't want to play 2 of the same game with different models. I'm not interested in that at all. So I would rather, personally speaking, I would rather go back to using force organisation charts or a form of force organisation charts. I wouldn't want the same AOS experience in 40k. I want the games to feel different and to be different. So I really like the new way they're doing AOS list building. I actually, honestly, probably preferred old 40k or Force Org charts to the new AOS, personally.
Yeah, I prefer the new AOS Force Org to the AOS 3 one.
Okay.
Because the AOS 3 one was a bit, trying to learn it as a new player was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Because you buy all your models. Because when we went into AOS, I was like, I don't want the rules to influence me.
Yeah, I did the same.
Right.
Build cool shit.
I just got I went onto the AOS app and I was like, I like that model, that model, that model, that model, that one. I just filled. I was like 2,000 points. I'm getting it, right? And then I got in and realised this was illegal. So I was like, oh no. So I had to paint some more. And then when I brought it here to play, Josh said, okay, what detachment are you using? I was like, I don't fucking know. I said, well, if you put them in detachment, you might be able to put them all down as a 1-drop. Or if you put these in this detachment, that detachment gets this benefit. Go into this detachment, this one that gets that benefit. And I was like, oh my God, I just want to put my models down. So so the new system of one character, some troops, one character, some troops, one character, some troops is fine. I like that. But I think I still would prefer the 1 to 3 HQ, 2 to 6 troops, 3 elites, 3 fast attacks, 3 heavy support. Because the army looks like an army on the table.
Yeah.
If you put models down on a table and you're like, this is just a weird mishmash that doesn't make sense.
But I had the caveat, so I agree with you, but I had the caveat that I would like to have the things we spoke about where taking certain choices unlocks other options.
Like if you've got a character on a bike squads become battle lines, stuff like that. So
I missed that. Thanks, Kaz, anyway.
Yeah, like what they could do is if you take a war, because if you take the Swarm Lord, he has to be the HQ.
Mr. the Swarm Lord.
Yeah, I was just wondering about how you'd make warriors troops. I just want warriors to be troops. I also want warriors to not be shit. They're so bad. They were too good last edition, and Games Workshop was like, no, no more of this. Be gone. We've sold enough.
Be gone with you.
Yeah, when they were like. Can't be wounded on anything better than a 4, 3-up save, like -3 in combat with 1,000,000 attacks. They were toit. Reroll all hits. Now it's all gone. Frostwolf Studio says, Joe, you're a sexy beast.
You are.
And it actually says that.
You are, yeah, I'm sure it does.
You too are a sexy beast. That's your first ever super chat.
It's
and
not.
That was the right choice.
It's not. It is, but it's not.
Yeah?
He looks very confused.
Isn't that guy?
Hey, it's that one guy.
That one guy.
Frostwolf Studios is Talk.
Yeah.
So he used to be Talk. Well, I think he's still Talk on YouTube. He's now Frostwolf Studios because he's launched his own channel.
Yeah.
And he hobbies, I think most nights, chat. Don't quote me on most nights. If he's still in chat, he might correct us.
Is he in Australia, isn't he?
No, he's from Australia. But he's in Eastern Europe somewhere.
Yeah?
I can't remember exactly where.
Was he trying to stream and just like spiders kept on attacking him?
Maybe. I think that's a problem for most Australians.
Yeah. Why? I don't understand why anyone would want to live in Australia.
So Talk is a Great Hall person and has been from like nearly enough day one of the Great Hall existing as the Great Hall and the Discord server existing as the Great Hall Discord server. Frostwell Studio, the reason why it says it's his first super chat is because he probably hasn't super chatted under that name before, but under Talk he super chatted loads. But he is a Great Hall person, so you can go check out his channel. Like I said, he streams, I think, every night to most nights. It's hobby content. And it's always great when people in the Great Hall support other people in the Great Hall. Yeah. Big fan of it. So there you go.
Thank you, Sam Deacon, for the 1 gifted membership. Thank you, William Payne. You should change your name to Max. For 5 gifted membership.
Not Payne, though. 5 gifted is great. We're on 26.
That's good. Thank you, Seawort, for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Wee Man, for 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Dang Skippy, for 5 gifted memberships. And thank you, Frostwolf Fusion Studio, also Talk, for becoming a Jarl.
What I hear? Oh, you became a Jarl tier as well. Legend. Yeah. That puts us on. What does that number say? Is it 26?
It does.
There's 5 before stream. 31. We've almost beat the last Liam and Joe show.
I know, it's great.
Last year we did. Last week we did like 80 on each Liam and Joe show, and now we're struggling to hit 30. What's changed, chat? It's June. Come on, Working Lurking Crew. If you are a member of the Working Lurking Crew, 1 gifted right now. Don't care if you're on iOS. Don't do it on iOS, chat. Don't do it on iOS.
I hope next time you're in Tesco's, Morrison's, whatever your favourite supermarket, and you go around the corner, you're like literally they're just pricing up all the cheap stuff. You're the first one there.
I'm more comfortable about the cheap stuff that's been priced up in the supermarket if I see them put the label on it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't see them put the label on, I'm like, how long has that had a label on it?
Yeah.
How long has it been
I like it when we used to go to Morrison's and we always timed it perfectly for when they discounted all the chicken.
I think my mother used to go straight to the discounted part of the fridge section.
Yeah,
Just like raid it all.
Yeah, I've seen fights. The Tesco's in Shaftesbury, where I live, where they discount all the stuff, they've got a little barrier they put up around it first to stop the masses from coming in and fighting over it.
I used to when I worked at Tesco's when I was at college. What I used to do is I used to get the people did the same thing. I was only a little Tesco's, like one of those express shops, right?
Yeah.
And what I used to do is I used to get the little label gun, and we'd have people that would come in knowing when things were going to be discounted, and then they'd come up to it, and I'd be like, "You discount that?" I'm like, "Yeah." What you put on it? I was like, "What do you fucking want?"
What a hero!
Talking of heroes, though.
Thank you, Benjamin Dustin. Oh, we've done his one. I use the YouTube app on my phone. It's broken.
Yeah, thanks,
That's fine. Thank you, Dan Skippy. Thank you, Keo Dude. We've done Dan Skippy. Thank you, Keo Dude, for becoming a member. But then thank you, Morlan.
Keo Dude gifted one, I think, didn't he? He's already a member because he's a legend.
Did. For gifting 50.
50! That's more than we got on the Tuesday show alone.
I know. Absolute hero.
Morlan, what a fucking legend.
Yeah. You're so... Oh, it's so good. I hope next time you get on the bus, you accidentally get onto a bus full of like Swedish strippers.
Should we do a thing tonight where anyone who gives 50 gets a free T-shirt?
Yeah.
Maybe we could do that. I need to work out the maths as to whether
It's not gambling.
that's going to cost me a fucking fortune.
We'll get in trouble if we do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Morlan, you fucking legend, for 50 gifted. They're still coming through. You are amazing. Thank you so much, man. What a hero.
And all those grey names are slowly disappearing.
And it's also that little bit extra special, only because it's not a person who's gifted like 50 before. So that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Just come in here, whips it out, slaps it on
Dick
the table.
out, yeah, on the table.
Hit people in the face.
Joe was saying, right. Joe was saying to me when we were in the shop earlier, I think you asked the question, are we too broy?
Yeah.
Right? And then the second someone gives 50, you talk about getting your dick out.
No, he did.
You're part of the problem.
And?
I'm not criticising Joe. Oh, Morlan, thank you so much, man. What a legend.
Yeah.
What a fucking hero.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Cop
legend.
out when... Oh, is that because...
If we decided... I tell you what, Lord Marhez does stuff. If we decide to go for it tonight, because I'm not on the stream tonight, if I decide to go for it tonight, then I will... I tell you what, I will backdate it for today, and he'll get one as well.
We'll let you know tonight.
And Will Stewart can have one from yesterday, where he gifted 70 in a day. I want to
figure out, is it like after Morlan Tybalt?
I don't know who
From
that is.
Sons of Horus.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is, Joe.
Read a book. We one of those guys.
No, I have people read a book to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tears
for Mugs is very upset that I'm a Bath fan. Who do you support? Tears for Mugs in the Premiership.
Sports.
I'll tell you where this came from. I went to watch a final of the old kind of like rugby's FA Cup when I was like 2001, 2002, I guess. It was Bath versus Leicester at Twickenham, and I didn't have a club team at the time because I was like 13 or something. I didn't have a club team. So we went to watch the final, and my dad said to me, have you picked a club yet? Because he's always been a Harlequins fan. And I said, no. I said, tell you what, I'll support whichever team loses the final. Bath lost the final against Leicester, and I picked them as my team.
So like a pity choice.
Only because I don't like being the person who picks a team. Like, I don't like being a Manchester United fan or a Chelsea fan.
Oh, yeah.
I support them because they win everything.
I was at school, everyone was like,
I'm a diehard Man United fan. I can tell by the accent from Portsmouth that you're obviously a Manchester United fan, and you must have been your whole life, you fucking clown. Or these people wearing Liverpool shirts that are clearly from fucking Africa. Like, anyway, it annoys me.
People can support the countries they're not from. There's people in America that support Leicester. You know,
that's fair. Actually, I'm being unfair.
You are.
But we had people at secondary school that were like Liverpool shirts, Manchester United Chelsea shirts. They all were born in my local town.
I've never supported any American football teams for sports, but I would love to go when it comes to England to like one of the NFL games.
Holy taboo it is, Eddie, tonight. I would love to go to an NFL game, Joe.
Yeah. I think that would just be incredible. I just want to see a bunch of men beat each other up in the
I think there's like a waiting list for NFL games. Like
really?
you get sellouts at college games.
Really?
For American football, yeah. College teams have big. correct me, Americans, if I'm wrong, college teams have big stadiums. Like big stadiums.
Yeah. It's all about like where they're going to go. It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah. So I when I went to the final, I picked a team that lost because I was like, I'll support that team. And do you know what? They've been fucking terrible since I've supported them. Basically, they used to have I found out after I started supporting them, they used to have a rich history of being an incredibly successful club, and they've been really shit for years.
It's all full of poshos now.
Vikings are heading to UK this year. Someone's sending me a Vikings top as well. Bears, Bristol, my lover. That's a brand new shirt. At least you're not a full kit wanker. This isn't a brand new shirt. This is the old one. My Thatcher's logo on the back is wearing off because it's been washed so many times.
I'd like to go see the NHL game as well.
The new shirt is sat on the hanger ready for Twickenham on Saturday, where I'll be at Twickenham watching Bath play Bristol. Oh no, wait, they didn't make it.
College teams easily seat 100,000.
Yeah, exactly. NHL, I would love to go to hockey because I love the concept of hockey.
Well,
I would never play hockey because I'm like Bambi on ice, to be honest with you.
Whereas in like England, like college teams have to like play on a really badly floodlit, water-dredged field.
Where a corner of the pitch you can't go in.
Yeah, and there's just a bunch of really miserable parents who honestly wish they're there with their like 50-year-old kids wishing that they'd pulled out. You know, just like. It's so horrible.
I think it's mad that college. I love it that college teams, but yeah, I think if you want to get to an NFL game, you basically go to college games if you go over to America to watch one.
Yeah.
I don't know
they have that thing where they all park outside with all the camper vans and have barbecues and stuff. That sounds fun.
It is. We won. Those players' salaries are paid by the investment of fans and tickets, match and whatnot. Yeah. The Michigan Wolverine Stadium has 107,000 seats. That's a college team, Joe. If it wasn't obvious enough, I didn't follow sports. From what I remember of my colleagues' sports fields, they were big but not massive. They were about as big as your average sports fields. We had a 3D rugby pitch where one of the corner went up and bank. Exactly. We haven't got the space in the UK.
When I used to play rugby in Luton, it's on the outskirts of Luton, and the end of the pitch, it was literally end of pitch, footpath, motorway.
Yeah.
So if it got kicked too hard, it'd be like, that's gone.
Yeah, I've always had a thing about like fucking glory hunting supporters. It just always irritated me slightly. So from where I am, we live in Southampton. There isn't a Premiership rugby club or a club in the league or two below that are in this local area. So my local team, Teutonians, I've been down and seen them. I've trained with them in the past actually. And I've watched their local games sometimes because it's literally walking distance. You should come, Joe. It's great. You should come for a Saturday. You walk down to the local rugby club, watch the rugby, drink a few pints. It's fucking brilliant. You stay in the spare room. It's a really nice day out at a local club. But it's like 10 people watching in the crowd because it's a local team. So, but where I am from, Southampton, we have a football team. So I support Southampton, and I've always supported Southampton because that's where I was born, bred, raised a lot. And my school was full of Man United fans and fucking Arsenal fans and Liverpool fans. Like, give Valrak shit all you want, but at least the fuckers from Manchester was supporting Manchester City, who are currently trying to fuck football in the UK, by the way. But that's another story that we won't go into. Yeah. I'd love to see Joe at an NHL game. He'd have a blast. NHL looks like it'd be loads of fun.
What one of the big baggy T-shirts that they wear as well?
Yeah.
I want.
The big NHL jerseys.
Yeah.
Someone's messaged me and they said they've bought me a Vikings NFL top that they're sending.
Oh. It's not helpful to me though, is it?
Well, no, but surely you would want one when you're more trim, Joe, in the future.
Well, it's massive, doesn't it?
They're expensive.
It's always
they?
massive.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's carry on, please.
They do NHL games in Nottingham.
They used to do them in Coventry because they had an ice rink in Coventry. I don't know if they still happen.
Really? Can we afford ice in England now?
Well, everything's frozen now, global warming.
Yeah.
I'm gutted Southampton doesn't have a dedicated rugby team. Yeah, me too. But the nearest team, which is why my dad supports them, is Harlequins, which is just up the M3. It's like an hour and 10 minutes to get to the Stoop, which is the Harlequins' local ground. So there is a local-ish team, but like America's like an hour and 10 is really close. But for us in the UK, that's quite far away. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Tank the Unforgiving, for for fuck's sake, Tank the Unknowing gifted 1 membership.
Thank you.
That is as important morally as 50.
No. Tell says, if you don't support a team when they get relegated, you're not a fan. I watched Saints get relegated from the Premiership, then relegated to League One, and we were still. I remember going to Hartlepool on a Tuesday night. It's like a 5-hour drive to watch Saints in a 0-0 draw.
If you were Bron, you'd watch them go down and then you just change to someone else that's better. And when they get wet, you go, I don't know, go on to the next good one. Thank you, Evan Tominello, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Lord Mayor's Does Stuff, for 1.
What stuff do you do, though? I want to know that. What stuff does the Lord Mayor's do?
Kills people in the street with coconuts.
It might be what he does. I'd be more concerned.
He gets 2 coconuts, puts a hole in it, pours the milk out, or drinks it, you never know, healthy lifestyle, fills it full of cement, puts some roke in it, and then uses them as one of those spinny things on a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Nerek, for 1 gifted membership. Thank you, Keo Dude, for 1 gifted membership. You're all heroes.
You're all amazing people.
Yeah. I hope the next time you make fish fingers, it's for a sandwich.
Not as amazing as the 50 gifted, but still amazing. What's that? It says 82?
82.
It says 87 we're on at the moment, because the 5 happened before. When Brandon, like I say, gifted before the stream starts, that little thing doesn't pick it up.
First one says Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 till 9 p.m. UK, and I'm in Estonia.
7 till 9 p.m. So you'll get to watch the first half an hour for 2 of those streams before you come to us.
Yeah. It's kind of like a warm-up.
Yeah. The warm-up act for half an hour that you come to us.
You better be funny.
Yeah,
don't want no boring warm-up.
No, you actually don't be that funny, because they might find it's better, then they won't come.
Yeah, be like
mediocre.
Marmite.
Yeah.
You know?
Warm them up, but don't be great.
Big Bad Pig Gaming, I'm using Tyranids tonight versus Eduardo.
Apologise on the waffle, dislocated my hip last week. Ugh, don't top on painkillers. You fucking should be, mate.
What are you, an 80-year-old man?
Dislocating your hip sounds fucking awful.
Ooh, yeah.
Painful.
How old do you
hope to get to?
How old do you have to be from going from I fell over to I had a fall? You know when they talk about old people who had a fall, it's less funny, isn't it? Because when you say someone's always had a fall, you know it's like can't laugh about that.
Yeah.
It's always fell over. Well, what's the age? What's the bridge?
I don't know.
When you cross over?
I think it varies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it varies. I think I don't think it's a number. I think it's just something you feel.
Yeah. Is it like Valrek? He had a fall.
He had a fall. Yeah.
He had a fall.
Mikey says I was a season ticket holder on our Gate League One days. Absolutely loved it. We were as well, actually. Went to so many away games. Yeah, we were season ticket holders. I've actually got one for next season as well. The season tickets went on sale today. No one cares if you're not from Southampton or support Southampton. But the season tickets went on sale today, but the website was broken, so I was able to buy mine last week for Northern Stand, safe standing. Just saying.
Lord Mayor says, I wasn't far off. He does sword stuff.
He does sword stuff?
Medieval things.
That's fancy, isn't it?
I think we enjoy sword stuff.
They're either 8-year-old man or the most unfortunate stripper ever.
Yeah.
WD says 50. I don't know if he's saying 50 years old or he's going to gift 50.
Yeah. There must be a real trick.
When you can't jump anymore.
You don't want to be falling off a bridge at any age.
Fair.
Fact. I tell you what, strippers must have a lot of insurance health claims. You know, all that oil, all that sweat, all that money on the floor. You're going to fall over and stuff, aren't you? Slippery work environment. I
don't know where this is going, and I'm not sure I want to.
It's a fact, isn't it?
Okay. All right, Joe.
I'm aware that I can get us in trouble with the words that come out of my mouth.
How much they're wanting for a Southampton season ticket these days? The cheapest one, if you haven't already had one, was £499 for the year, which works out at 20. Hang on. Maths is not my strong point when I'm tired.
50 years old, he says.
Oh. £26 a game, basically, Kaz, is what it works out at. But you can also finance it. You can finance season tickets now.
Really?
Yep, they let you do that.
That's mad, isn't it?
I was saving money, genuinely was saving money to do a long weekend break because I haven't had a proper holiday in forever. I was going to do a long weekend break in New York, right? And I'd found a long weekend hotel stay in a 4-star hotel in New York with flights included for for 640 quid, I think it was, or 650 quid, right? Fucking bargain. Your face is, I don't know if that's, you're impressed.
£640 is a lot of money to go and see.
To fly to New York, stay in a hotel for 3-4 nights and fly back, that's nothing. Think about it. You get on a plane to go to another country and a return flight, 640 quid, and three nights in a hotel.
Oh, okay, if it includes the stay, yeah.
So 3 nights in the hotel and the flight, 640 quid.
Yeah.
That's a fucking bargain.
It's cheaper than going to a retreat.
It is, and you probably have more fun. So 640, so I was saving for that, and then I was like, it's only like a 4-day weekend or a 5-day weekend. And then Saints released the season tickets, and I was like, if I spend £500 instead of the £600 I've saved up for New York, I'll get entertainment, probably bad entertainment because we've been promoted, so we're just going to get beat every game, but entertainment all the way through the football season rather than one long weekend. I'm a value for money kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but that little holiday to America, it would be something to remember and think about.
Well, the football season could be something to remember. That's what us football fans
Are you
sit on, Joe.
Are you hoping for a Leicester season?
That's not going to happen. I'm not going to lie to you. Mid-table, I'd be happy with, right? I totally agree with Joe. I want to see Armies and Armies 100%.
I feel like chat's trying to get us back on track. They're like, by the way, the topic was this. We're not going to talk about football. Last one. Thank you.
There's more.
I've got two. So Gordon Fenton. Liam, you should try being a Sale fan. We could be 3 tries ahead with 1 minute to go and still lose. See, the super chats. We're following the money. Not
I actually thought you were going to beat us on Saturday. Like, I was messaging Waller at the time, fucking sat there nervous as shit watching that game. But
what's that in freedom bucks? Frost Wolf Studio. My streams are boring because no crunt. Not
Joe,
even
you follow the natural. That's a lie talk. I've seen your missus in the stream all the time.
Yeah, have you got the sex bots yet? They fill out pretty quickly.
The sex bots of, I feel like YouTube's been doing a lot of work to get rid of sex bots.
Yeah.
But then we have subscriber only mode turned on, so we normally avoid them.
Turn off subscriber only mode if you've got that on. Talk. Fill out with sex bots. It'd be a right party.
Dang Skippy says, value for money guy, says the Warhammer player that managed to get Games Workshop to send it to me. Value for money guy is 100% Dang Skippy.
Well, it's not value for money because he hires me, and I want models all the time. I want an Eldar army and a Hierophant.
I can't afford it, Joe. Did you see the car bill from Tuesday? I'd like to buy you all the things, Joe.
That's not
all of the things.
A work thing, really, is it though?
It doesn't matter. It's still money out of a bank of mine.
You used to care. It's one little Hierophant.
How much are they?
Money.
How much is the Hierophant, Joe?
300.
You've got fuck all chance this month.
Thank you, Kev Thacker, for 5 gifted memberships.
You're a legend, thank you. That puts us on more. 92? Oh shit, son.
Oh,
we're 8 away from 100.
What were we talking about before this?
Who cares? Oh, there's motion in my hallway. He's about to walk in the door.
Is he?
Yeah. Model's a good value if you build
Necromancer Goblin just got his Hierophant primed yesterday.
Did you want to send it to Joe so I don't have to buy him one?
There's one on eBay at the moment. I saw. It's quite nice.
But I think I said to my wife I want to buy you all the things and still didn't get any.
Yeah.
£425 for a Plymouth Argyle season ticket. It's cheaper just to be a member, mate.
Yeah.
We have got Wayne Rooney as manager, so we are going down. Sorry, just wanted to share my pain. That is pain. That is fucking pain.
Wayne Rooney, he's like a potato with ears, isn't he?
He is like a potato with ears, yeah. He's got the brain computing power of a potato as well.
Yeah. Eddie's here now.
Have you not seen there's a camera in the hallway? I've already seen you.
Yeah. What's on your shirt? It looks like green vaginas.
Eddie's here, chat.
Eddie's here. I don't know if the people remember Eddie.
If I come in the middle in my usual spot.
You can, look at this.
Hey, baby.
Microphone.
That's why I spoke into your beard.
That's him stood up as well.
Eddie's here tonight to play with your Necrons.
Are you doing Necrons?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. Jay wants to know what you bought so we can tailor.
Yeah,
I've paid the cost
I've
of...
written my list already.
Classic Jay.
I wanted to know what your army was so I could make a nice fancy table. And if you bought something massive, we can't have like a battle inside a spaceship or anything.
Yeah, there's the king. Probably the biggest unit, quite literally.
G unit.
We were talking about how Age of Sigmar was doing the thing you were complaining about in 40k.
Having good force organisation charts. That's what we were talking about.
Eddie, do you miss force organisation charts?
Yeah, like a hole in the head.
Hang on.
Right. Give me a mic here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get your mic.
I'll just talk into Jay's beard like this for now.
I'll move this here. I'll put this on my shoulder.
Oh, thanks, Jay. So yeah, force org charts. I kind of do and kind of don't. I think that they were fun and thematic, but at the same time, you can only really run 3 of anything anyway now. And I like the fact that you can't run like a million of everything because it's just a nightmare from a collection standpoint.
Yeah, I suppose. But in Age of Sigmar, there's no limit.
True.
There's no limit.
You can literally run as many as you like.
Yeah.
Is that with the new one?
Well, in AOS 3 you could do it as well.
Okay.
And AOS 2. There's never been a best...
So you could have like a million of one unit and that'd be it?
Yeah, obviously some characters are limited, like named ones, for instance.
It's on mute at the moment when you unclip it off.
Are we going to turn that on? I'm going to...
We'll find out if it's going to ruin everyone's ears in a second.
Probably will. It's my voice, right? There you go.
Boop.
Finally, something for the highbrow gamers. Wow.
Did you just let any child wander into the studio? Yeah. Joe can't go near schools. We bring them to us instead.
It's your fault you have to do it.
Mail order. Right.
Yeah. I feel like I actually miss force organisation charts. I like force organisation charts, to be honest with you. I don't like tents take anything, nothing looks like an army anymore.
The mermaid strikes back. Could you not just do it's X points, take what you want, and be more agile in costing broken things?
Yeah.
Well, Games Workshop are trying. Thank you for your first super chat. Games Workshop are trying to do that, but I feel like they miss the mark sometimes. And sometimes they go, "Oh, this unit's going to." When they change the points on an entire army, some things go up, some things go down. You look at the app and you're like, "Oh, my army's the exact same points. Nothing's changed as a net whole."
Can Eddie sit on Joe's lap like a kid at Christmas?
I can if you want.
if you must.
Oh, that's so comfy.
Yeah,
if your beard was white,
so
I'd be in the mood.
warm.
Yeah, it's because I've just been running around.
Haven't you been in the car?
Trying to find the office.
Warm
entrance.
and almost. It feels almost wet.
I am
like in a warmness.
almost damp.
Yeah, a warm
I'm
wetness.
damp just for you, Jay.
That's weird.
Don't worry, we're a serious chair in a minute because you'll go for a piss.
Because I've
again,
had my
isn't
heated seat on, I think.
Yeah.
Sweating myself up ready.
Yeah.
If Joe wears a Santa's hat, people instinctively resent the homogenization of net listing and think force orgs will fix it. The only solution is fundamentally randomizing mission dynamics. Some games you play pure kill points.
I think the issue is always going to be that net listing will just exist forever.
Of course it will.
Absolutely
Because
will,
the
100%.
internet exists. And the thing is, though, I've said it before, there's so many people playing the game and recording the games now that there's always going to be a best of everything. It's the same situation you get with like Call of Duty, right? Everyone's going to know what the best gun is, what the best attachments are. Just run that and you'll all be fine.
Brian Garrett, thank you so much for 5 gifted, you fucking hero. Yeah, I think it's true. Someone made a comment last night. I did a stream last night on influencers in the Warhammer space and how they're all fucking awful.
You love that word.
And someone put a comment on there who was like, actually, it's people that do list analysis and game influencers are the worst because they just tell everyone what to buy and everyone ends up doing the same thing. I don't necessarily think that's 100% true, but there's certainly things to what you've just said, Joe. People watch channels and go, oh, that looks really strong, I'm good, I'm going to buy that. And so net listing is kind of like, I remember net listing when it used to be you search Daka or something. He's sitting right down.
And also, because of how competitive the game has got, everyone wants to be a winner, you know? And what's going to be happening is there's going to be the leaders and there's always going to be the followers. There's always going to be that one person who makes an incredible list and the 1,000 people that buy that list.
Yeah, I agree.
You know? But the problem is those 1,000 people are always going to be the people that write the good lists because then they'll just write a new one that beats that.
And you smell pretty.
Thanks. Most people just look at tournament results and then just copy the top list.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've seen that loads as well, actually. I've seen people do it.
In fact, actually, what most people do, with 90% of people, is copy that top list, change 10% of it, and make it half as good.
Yeah, and then be like, this is
changing
my
that
idea of
10%.
this list.
Yeah.
Thank you, the White Rhino Strip Club. For what you deserve it.
98, Joe. Nearly at a hundy.
Big
Whoa.
fat hundy.
Repeating myself a little bit, but it's who you play that affects the game, not restrictions. They do nothing.
It's quite nice down there.
Restrictions are actually important for tournaments, I think, on the whole.
Yeah, I feel like.
But for most people, you're right. For most
Yeah.
people, it's who you play that makes a difference.
But I feel like with tournaments, you need more restrictions.
I agree. So what I'm saying is I agree with what Harley's saying on the whole.
Yeah.
For most people that are playing casual games in their bedrooms or basements. But for tournaments, I think you need more restrictions, absolutely.
Yeah. If they wanted it to be properly balanced, they probably insert some level of an allowed and a restricted list kind
Here's
of
an
thing.
interesting question as well, though, because we're talking about tournaments a little bit now, and Eddie's here. If you don't know, Eddie, you run Tryhard, or,
Yeah.
or are involved in Tryhard at least. And they're more kind of competitive and tournament focused.
Yeah.
Someone's put something in there I wanted to bring up quickly for the last 5 minutes.
Right.
Cash prizes at Warhammer 40k tournaments.
It's quite popular in America, I think, cash prizes.
Is it a good idea, though?
We don't really do much of it here. I don't think it's a problem. I think that most people, you're always going to get a few people who will turn up to those kind of events just to win big dollar, and they will probably net list and they'll just try and smash everyone in.
Yeah.
And I think that the problem with that is it can create some like aggression in play where people aren't going to let stuff slide because they really want that cash money. Whereas you don't get that obviously if you're just winning a little glass trophy.
Well, we had down the road confrontation events is in Portsmouth. Ricky ran. I don't know if they still go. Ran confrontation events, and for a while, what they were doing is they were putting a heavy emphasis on hobby score. So they had people that were turning up, literally 3-colour minimum net list, right?
Yeah.
Fucking trouncing everyone and winning all 5 games, but not getting first place.
Yeah.
Because their hobby score wasn't high enough to get them first place.
Yeah.
And Ricky's kind of intent was, I want to discourage the super try-hard players, not start on your name,
No,
the
it's
super
just-
try-hard
it's an
players,
ironic name.
because I want people to turn up with thematic lists that are well painted, that they've worked really hard on, they've bought some out. So like he would literally give you extra points if you'd bought army narrative that you'd written out. And some people would like tea stain it and make it and like
That's
put
super
like
cool though, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I
kind
love
of
it.
in the spirit of the game.
yeah, I absolutely love it. Yeah, I like the fact that people are in chat singing the 2.5 Men theme
It's
tune.
inevitable, isn't it?
Brian Garrett, thank you for the gifted. Sam Deacon, thank you for the gifted. Joe, does that say 96 over there? Have I missed another one gifted? That means we've gone.
96.
That means we're on 101 because there's 5 before the stream.
Dalmatians.
Look at you, amazing people,
You're all great.
amazing humans. Right, chat, you beautiful human beings. I think
But
I want Force Orgs back. What about you, Joe?
I do. Something that Tyler's just said. Actually, people who just come to stores with 12 people with a competitive list for easy money, do you then scale where the money comes in? So if we say if you have a tournament, if we get less than 50 players, then there won't be a cash prize. If there's more than 50, we will have a cash prize.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because if there's 12 people at a tournament with like, I don't know, £100 cash prize, there's going to be people that are like,
Complete
I
aside.
really fucking need 100
Complete
quid.
aside, I saw some posts from Glasshammer Gaming this last weekend,
Yeah.
at a tournament they run, right? And Mohawk Minis J attended,
Yeah.
because he likes tournaments, right? These is just names, this is irrelevant, but Mohawk Minis J is known in the community because he's a painter. He's a commissioned painter, he's a Twitch streamer, he paints professionally, it's what he does for a living, right? He won Best Painted.
Oh.
Do you know what his Best Painted prize was?
Do they do what is a really silly prize for painters?
The most fucking dumb Best Painted prize ever? A painting starter set.
Amazing.
Like, don't think he needs it.
it's almost like an insult, isn't it?
It's like I can't think of anything to give you as a painting prize. You've won Best Painted. Have more paints.
And the ones you already definitely
And not only more paints. Have a starter
Yeah,
set.
but the people that win tournaments don't get given a tape measure, do they?
no,
You know,
I mean some of them should.
yeah, it's probably, yeah.
Right. Anyway, so you think yes, Force Org charts. I think yes,
Yeah.
Force Org charts. You.
I think that they could come back if they were done right. I think it'd be interesting.
Okay.
But I think they'd probably have to do them slightly differently. It's nice. You've got to think about the app and everything now, and it would completely break down, wouldn't it, in its current state? So.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's probably teetering on the edge most days,
Yeah.
actually. Anywho, chat, if you haven't already, let us know what you think in the comments after the live stream finishes in just a few moments. What you think. Do we bring them back? Do we not bring them back? Is it fine as it is? Do we need to change this rule of 3 and bring something more interesting in? Because that was a quick fix that occurred in 8th edition because of things like 4 Storm Ravens. So let us know how you would change that up because maybe we just get rid of the Lord of 3 and bring something different in that's slightly more interesting or slightly more exciting. David, thank you so much for 5 gifted. You legend. You're a hero. Tonight at 7:30 going live will be Mr. the Eddie versus Mr. the Joe. I was supposed to play Eddie and Joe literally said, oh, I'd like to play Eddie.
It's because I beat him last time.
True story? True story?
Yeah.
It is true story, yeah. So you'll be seeing Tyranids facing off against Necrons. It's a Xenosa Fest tonight.
Yeah.
Do you want to play Leviathan or Maelstrom?
All right, he's the guest, isn't he?
I'm easy.
I know. But do you want to play
Mine was
Leviathan?
more fun.
Well, okay. Well, maybe I'll ask the Thanes and let them pick.
Yeah.
7:30 tonight, then you'll see Tyranids versus Necrons. Kyle is back running the deck tonight. I'll be floating around for a bit, and I'll have the 4th mic on so I can talk to you wonderful human beings. But otherwise, I'll be disappearing. I've got to drive to Cheddar Gorge tomorrow.
Oh, I love Cheddar Gorge.
I haven't been there
I do
ever.
like a good goal.
Are you gonna skate down it, or like rollerblade, or bike down it?
Can you imagine
walk.
Liam on skates?
Walk. I can't do skates, mate.
I can imagine.
The only danger to Cheddar Gorge is that there is a road down it, and people hoof it down.
The problem with me on skates, Joe, is the size and weight of my head. Is I'm top heavy.
Yeah.
I'm like a fucking pop vinyl.
I didn't get it there because you've got half as much chin as everyone else.
Well, yeah.
Also,
don't tell 'em that.
you're gonna walk down, park at the top, walk down.
I don't know, Joe. I've never been there.
Right.
I don't know.
Great thing about Cheddar Gorge, goats everywhere. Fucking love a goat.
I'm sure you
I'm
do.
sure
yeah.
you do.
And there's an ice cream shop at the bottom.
So tomorrow, chat, I'm going to be there. So I will probably be vacating a little bit earlier tonight, but that means that we also may have a later 40k After Dark show tomorrow evening. The aim is 8:30, but if I get back at like 8, it might be that we push it till 9 o'clock. We'll let you know throughout the day. Keep an eye on Discord. That's it. That'll be 7 streams this week yet again. And then we're back again next Monday with Great Hall Hobby Hangout at 7:30. And no Liam and Joe show on Tuesday because Mr. the Kirioth is here in the studio for a saga and for a live game that evening. I think that's everything, Joe. Look, on time as well.
I know.
Look at that.
Can we get a
Madness.
little stool down here next time?
Well, no, because normally it's just the 2 of us. Yeah. We can make it if we try.
Just the 2 of us.
If next time we know you're coming,
Well,
Yeah.
he said between 2:45 and 3 o'clock. I was like, if he turns up at 3 o'clock, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because we'll wrap it up and we're gone.
I thought I might be late, but I thought, seeing as I was early, I'd come in, get in
oh,
between you.
Grumpage is right. It's a good homemade mead and cider in Cheddar.
Ooh, you love a bit of mead, don't
Oh,
you?
you love a bit. Yeah. We'll see.
It's lovely.
Anyway, look forward to tonight's game at 7:30. Make sure you turn up, chat, for these 2 beautiful human beings. You've all been amazing today. Thank you so much for all the gifted memberships. It's incredible. Thank you so much for all the super chats. Your donations are amazing. I say it every time. Things like the gifted membership specifically are how we keep the lights on here. We keep bringing new stuff in, new armies, new models, new everything. You people are insane. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.